saying that change has to be gradual is a fallacy. I think it's just a matter of how strong is your motivation to change. I think that change is gradual when there is less punishment remaining as is. But when the punishment for remaining as is becomes so high that you just want to get away from it. And in that moment when my dad said that to me, compiled with looking at myself in the mirror, I remember weighing myself the next morning. Suddenly the punishment for remaining how I was so high, it felt unbearable. It felt like it was no longer an option because I thought to myself, what happens next? So I've gained 85 pounds. What if I gain another 85 pounds?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've been arrested 6 times. What's going to happen on the 8th or 9th time? Am I going to go to fucking jail? Like, these are all real questions that I started asking myself after that conversation. And I thought to myself, like, no more. Like, I'm at a point now where this can really be put behind me. You know, this is not going to be on my record forever. I can lose the weight now. I'm young. I have time. I was like, but if I wait much longer, like, this is my life. And I think that was more terrifying than anything, that the next day when I woke up, I was like, everything changes. And I remember I had listened to Tony Robbins when I was younger. He was back when I was young, you know, he was kind of the guy you listen to for personal development. Yeah. And he talked about, you know, shifting your identity. And one thing that I took away from everything I read about him or read from him was actually to not have an identity, to remain fluid and not identify with anything, because I really just wanted to feel like whatever I need to become, to be who I want to be, to do what I want to do, I will. And if I label myself as anything else, then one day it will hinder me. And so in that moment, I just decided, I was like, I no longer do any of this. And now what I will do is I will engineer an environment where it makes it harder to remain the same Leila that I have been for the last 2 years, and easier to become the future Leila that I want to be. And that was really my mentality. It was like, how do I make it as easy as possible to become this person that I want to be? And that was what my focus was. I was like, all right, well, first thing I need to do is I need to get out of this house. I live with 6 other people in this, like, basically like college party house. Get out of there. So I went and I got my own apartment, which is like weird for a girl who's like 20, right? Yeah. But I was like, I know what I need to do so I can change. Then I got another job. So I worked 2 jobs and did school, because I was like, I can't have so much free time that I'm going out and partying all the time. Like, if I have time to party, I have time to work more. At least that's going to be more productive. I then started losing weight and then got a fitness coach. And so I got a trainer in the gym. I got a fitness coach online. And I was like, all right, cool. I have people that are going to help hold me accountable so that I will get back in shape. I joined a gym the next day. And then I threw out literally, like, I remember I threw out all the booze, all the like weed and any other drugs. And I threw out all the junk food in my house. And I was like, I'm done. And that was literally in a span of 24 hours. And it was just having, honestly, I just remember, I wish I could say it was like more prolific than this, but I was just so freaking angry at myself. You know, I was never, I think in my younger years, was I angry at people around me for the situations, my mom, my dad, sure. But I think we all grow up and get past that. And I was just angry at myself. I was so disappointed in what I'd let happen. And honestly, I think I was disgusted. I was disgusted at the place I was and who I was, and looking in the mirror and thinking like, you're so much better than this. Like, you can do so much better. You have no reason, you know? And I think that was just the moment that I felt like I no longer, I think a lot of times what we do is we say, I don't want this situation to have power over me. And so we go in the opposite direction. You know what I mean? It's like we rebel in some way. Mm-hmm. But rebelling means it still has power over you. It has power over you that it has caused you to go in any direction. And I think I realized that as well, as I was like, I'm having, whether I go and rebel or whether I get better, like that, it's what I don't want to do is allow the past to dictate my current behavior. And that's what I felt like had been happening for a while. And that was what I needed to change. And I think that the entire process of pursuing change, losing the weight, stopping drinking, getting new friends, moving on my own, deciding that after I graduate, I'm going to move out to California, like building a future vision for myself. I think that most of it stemmed from wanting to create a better future for myself, and also the realization that all the emotions that felt so horrible and caused me to go drink and party and do all these things, I can use those emotions in another direction that can build a better future for me. Now, I think that fear gets you started, and then I think that a vision for the future and encouragement will keep you going. In that moment, that fear of what my life could look like got me started. I think it switched in time to